Okay, hi sluts. Pussy, mind, body, spirit, soul. What is slut camp? Let's get into it. Blocked immediately. Welcome back. Good motherfucking evening, sluts. It is your camp counselor, Emma, back at the motherfucking thing. Again, we're at camp. It's day 11, episode 11, that is. And holy shit, I just need to say, like, very quickly, I've been thinking about this as of the last 10 minutes. I'm having this, like, really insane type shift happening, and I just really want to talk about it super quick. So if you know me, and I've mentioned this before, of course, I love long hair. I have, like, a long obsession, like, since I was in middle school with the movie Dazed and Confused. I love the movie Lords of Dogtown. Basically, if you don't know what either of those films are, it's like the vibes are like 90s grunge skate or like a 70s porn stash. Like basically, like if you're dirty and you skate or surf, like I literally need you like in my like asshole. You know what I mean? In no way am I saying I'm retiring from that type. It's just I've realized that what happened is I moved to New York and those men don't exist here. They maybe exist in like parts of Brooklyn, like aspects of their personality, but the whole package, the hair, the stupidity, the chillness, the smoking, the like I surf, I skate, like as a lifestyle over career doesn't exist. I feel like men in New York, we talked about this like last time, but right now we're having this crazy 360 shift, like 180, I don't know the fucking geometry, like we're going in a circle. And on New Year's Eve this year, I went to a house party in Bushwick. For whatever reason, I do so fucking well in not Manhattan. So I'm there. I was supposed to be set up with this like blonde man who was like much more within my like realm of flirtation, and I ended up talking to him for like a little, but the vibes were not there. Kind of had like bug eyes, like a squeeze toy when you squeeze it and the eyes pop out of its head. Like that's kind of what he looked like. So I was like, this is really not the turn that I was expecting. I need 12 shots. So that conversation gets cut short when this like beautiful man walks in and we start talking because I'm like standing in front of this cabinet that has all these cups. And he walks in, comes up to me and is like, can I grab a cup from behind you? And I was like, no. And he was like, what? And I was like, just kidding. Here's a fucking cup. And then we start chatting. Basically, like all of a sudden I'm hearing like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And then we're smooching up the wazoo. Over the next 5 months, like sold my soul to him and like was seeing him like such a roller coaster of a man of the last 5 months. My God. Basically, his name is like Khloe Kardashian's ex-boyfriend. Familiar. Such a beautiful man, such a troubled soul. I like really can't say the obsession because I'll probably get like fucking canceled, but like once you go, you never go. Okay? Basically, I'm at this point in my life where I like don't, if I see him like typically my type, dirty blonde man with like a mustache, I'm like, get the fuck away from me, like ew. And then if I see a man that looks like XYZ man from the past 5 months, Khloe Kardashian's ex-boyfriend, I'm like, literally, fuck yes. It ended poorly. In fact, I'll tell you exactly how it ended, and we have like a 411 live update of like what's going on. There were many red flags about him that I ignored because we've all been there. The dick was too bomb and I couldn't seem to tear myself away. He had an Android. Maybe you remember me saying that I received a dick pic from him and it was clear, even though he had an Android in a previous episode. So that was him. There was a lot like that I ignored. Again, never dated a man with a job. Again, like one more time for the people in the back. We'd been seeing each other for like 4.5, almost 5 months. And he texted me. Actually, no, I texted him. I said, it's a regular Thursday. We would see each other like once a week. I was like, what are you doing tonight? No answer. Next day, 4 p.m. I say hello. And he says, yeah, I'm alive. And I was like, okay, and you didn't feel like answering me. And he was like, not that. Basically ended things with me. It was like, I've been having fun with you, but I think I want to put an end to it. Like, no, it's out of the blue. Answer when you can. So already you can catch a vibe for like who he is and like how he communicates with people. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. So I don't answer, because answer when you can. First of all, fuck you. 4 months, 5 months of seeing me and you're gonna text me? Fuck no. So I don't answer. I was like, I'll answer in 20 years when I'm available. So we get like flash forward maybe 15 days after this happens, 20 days. This was like the beginning of this month. Now it's the end of this month. He's like, hey, like, am I still cut off? Just checking on you. First of all, no one calls me M. Like, full name Emma, last name Goad, Emma Goad. You call me my last name, you call me Emma. No one calls me M. I'm like, fuck you. Like, no. So then I'm like, I'm texting my friends. I'm like, oh my fucking God, this motherfucker. They're like, are you gonna answer? And I was like, I have to. I literally have to. I have to rip him a new asshole, of course. And so I was basically like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was cutting you off. To which he responds and is like, I guess you're okay. Like, just was thinking of you. A lot of you guys have been asking for, a lot of you guys, aka my literal friends, have been asking for more advice and things to say to men when they do shit like this, because they do shit like this a lot. So I said, last thing he says, thought of you today, so I reached out. I said, no need to continue thinking about me, blank. Ending things with me like that after 4 months over text shows me exactly the kind of person you are, and that did not warrant a response from me, period. He said, respect. Okay, bye, Emma. And to that, we take our shot. There's no slut affirmation today, so we're just starting with a story. Based on that story, I hope that literally never happens to you, but in case it does, now you have an excellent text to send to mic drop if you're really not interested in continuing the relationship, which at that point you absolutely fucking should not be, okay? So, girls, raise your glass, take a drink, finish your makeup, put on some, I'm trying to make a playlist on Spotify that's called Slut Fridays, and I'll share that at some point, but let's go. This is a big bad boy episode today. I'm very excited because we have two very exciting topics. In New York, if you live here, it's like nice as fuck outside. The weather's been insane. We're transitioning into summer wherever you are. Weather's been sexy as fuck. In turn, the weather feels like it's like everyone's just getting really like horny and feral and like getting like excited for that moment when it happens, when we all go to bars and it's just like there's no rules. Everyone's like taking their tits out left and right. So I want to talk about two things today. The first one is my plan for the sluttiest summer that's ever existed in the history of slutty summers, okay? And my plan for that and for you, which you can follow. And, this is such a good one. We will debunk, get comfortable, talk, discuss, argue about toys and sex positions that you may typically stray away from because you don't like them or think that like it's not working for you, and why you absolutely should give them another try. Let's fucking go. Number one, this is the plan for your sexy, slutty summer. Step one, we're gonna recruit our team players. You are recruiting both starting and bench players alike, bench warmer, starting string, whatever you want to call it. I like fucking obviously don't watch sports, so like I looked up the definitions of like different soccer players so that I could associate them with this. Okay, don't judge me. How are we gonna do this? This is gonna be in the wild. It's gonna be on the apps, through mutual friends, etc. I don't care where they come from. You're gonna collect them. It's like, you know, the classic, the Rasta, the whole thing. This summer is going to be bold, feral, and buck wild. Those are the three things that I can just feel it in the air. I can smell it. You're going to go to a bar, cozy up next to the sexiest man that you see, that you are like, I don't give a fuck if he's out of my league. I don't care. Like, if I'm not feeling my best, you go straight up to that man. You ask him, what is he drinking? You say, what are you drinking? He tells you. You go to the bartender, you say, I'll have two. of those. Okay. She brings you the drinks. You give him one. You say, have a nice night. Have a nice day. You walk away. He'll approach you within the hour, but it's very simple. And it's obviously one of like I feel like things that we talk about and what I've been talking about on the show and how like socially inept we are after COVID and just like being able to go up and talk to people and just, I feel like it was a lot easier before. Also maybe because we're at like frat parties and it's like as much as I am like hammered as fuck, you are sexy, like let's make out. But I mean, you could do that today too, but it's as simple as going up to someone and being like, hi, are you single? And then go from there. It's really not that scary. Take a tequila shot if you need to. At the end of the day, it's really just a man. Unless it's Halloween, then it's a little bit more scary. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Step 2. You're going to designate who's playing what position. This is where you might lose me a little bit, and stay with me. First, you'll need basically like a striker or someone who's like going to score the goal, if that makes sense. So this is who you always want to keep kind of like at arm's distance. They're always like in your back pocket and they're always going to score, but they know they're kind of on your level where they know how to play the game just as well as you do. They're basically like your male counterpart. Like let's say that they're your Chuck Bass. Okay, like they're who's like, you know, is like bad for you, but like so good at the same time. It's like so right, so wrong. You need to keep your defense highest around them. Okay, those are our strikers. Those are like top of the food chain, top of the pyramid. I'm like, are we doing pyramid or are we doing team? I can't decide. We'll figure it out in a second. Midfielders. Okay, looked this up too. These are the men that you'll use to kind of like distract yourself from the striker, aka who you do not want to like find yourself having feelings for. Midfielders are kind of like almost your assistant to the Chuck Bass, the one that like you're actively avoiding. Obviously, you have to be wary of them too because they have agendas, but you kind of use them for their like ultimate prime dick and ultimate prime wallets. Duh. In my opinion, all men are basically defenders because they're basically stopping you from scoring. But I would consider the other girls that the midfielders are probably sleeping with as defenders as well. But basically, men are all of these positions and like their main goal is to win, but so is yours. So you're going to beat them at their own game. You're going to win. Step 3. Ugh, this is so fun. I love it. You're going to plan all your dates on the same day. Okay. This is controversial because obviously you'd like to set up a week-long agenda of dates. If there are 2 dates that you're like actively really like more excited for, obviously you can schedule those on 2 different days. But the idea here is like double, triple, quadruple book yourself. Obviously I'm not saying go on like 34 dates in one day, but rather have like a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. Plan A is like who you'd actually want to go out with. And you can do this twice a week. You don't have to do it once a week. You can do it 7 times a week. Like fucking go off. But plan A is who you actually want to go out with. Plan B is the fallback if plan A cancels. And plan C is the guy that you probably maybe don't really want to be like seen in public with, but like you're horny and like duh. Best day for dates in this case, I would argue Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, I feel like middle of the week, end of the week, starting to feel excited for the weekend, starting to feel a little bit more like, yeah, I am going to have 6 glasses of orange wine and like, what about it? Like, you know what I mean? You can kind of let loose a little, but plan A, B, and C. I feel like every girl kind of has those in the back of their brain. Maybe it's on your apps, maybe they're part of your starting string players, whatever. You decide, have those 3 at least in your back pocket. Okay, step 4. Step 4 is always have this like mentality that they're trying to get you to like them, not the other way around. So if you go on dates acting like, oh, I'm like checking boxes, I'm trying to fit this man into like the mold of like what I think a boyfriend should look like for me, you're not really going to get anywhere. You have to kind of act as if every date is like you're making a new friend. No attachment, plus like free drinks. And then if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. But you can't really go into dates with the mentality of like, I got to size up this man, see if he checks all the boxes, see if he's like the right fit. Because if you do that, it's kind of just like not going to go your way. Having no expectations is having the best expectations. Having high expectations is receiving low outcome or low output or low result. Having the mentality that they're trying to get you to like them, not the other way around. Step 5 out of 6, prioritize your girls this summer to be successful. Obviously, we do all of the above. We fucking go after men, but first and foremost, you prioritize your girls. If you have plans with your girls on a Friday and a man asks you to go out, you're busy. In fact, honestly, make yourself as busy as possible. You don't have really like the time to be available for this man in your week. So keeping him on his toes is the best plan. If you have to blow him off 2-3 times and he's still interested, then like maybe he's worth exploring. But it could go south. He could obviously just stop talking to you after you blow him off once. So if he does that, look, it's not bomb dick anyways. Final step 6, plain and simple, is blocking. Okay. If you go, this is like my crazy rule that I always tell my friends, and they're like, Emma, what the fuck? Like, I cannot do that. It honestly has served me it saved me so many like wondering what ifs, and clean break is like what you need to move on and just continue adding and deleting, swapping and trading. We'll say if you go on an insane date with a guy and like you're like, holy fuck, I'm giddy the next day, I want to see him again. If he does not text you, contact you in 72 hours, 3 days time, I don't care. I'm deleting his number or blocking his ass. There's no reason. Like, I get 1 day, maybe even 2. I'm giving 3 to be extra fucking nice. I get people are busy, but 72 hours to respond is more than fucking enough time. If they don't text you, they're not fucking worth it. They probably don't give a fuck about you either. So block, delete, done, bye, move on. And that is our plan for this summer. I'm so excited. We're gonna go into each step throughout the summer and report back. And once I obviously will keep you updated on the roster and update you on who's where, what's the status of what. But that's the plan for the summer. Very exciting. And I can't wait to see y'all execute steps 1 through 6. This next topic is, I feel like we've all been waiting for it. Like why haven't we talked about this yet? We've kind of like edged the topic, but we haven't gotten into the specifics. And if there's one thing you need to know about me, it's that I have a, like what I like to call a sex bag that sits under my dresser that I've like collected things throughout time. You may remember the butt plug episode. Those are in there. You, as a girl, okay, here's the first thing I'll say. The number one thing on my list is obviously a vibrator. I feel like in this day and age of social media, there's all these wellness companies that are coming out with this vibrator and this, like there's all these different prototypes. This does this, you know, like soothes your asshole. This like massages your clit. Like this goes inside of you and also your asshole. Like there's all these things that vibrators do that are like so. Also there's like things for like pelvic floor health. Like if you have like pain during sex, like this vibrator helps. Like they're so amazing. Like love. Every girl should have like 3+. I don't even believe in having one vibrator. I think you need 3+. They all do different things. Okay. That's the first one. A vibrator can be used by yourself and during sex. If you haven't used a vibrator during sex, highly recommend. There's multiple ways to do it, but obviously using it while like you're being penetrated, if it's like on your clit, if it's that kind of vibrator, use that. Obsessed. Under that category, we have other things that vibrate. Another one, this is if like you're having sex with a guy, a cock ring, specifically ones that like vibrate and have those like weird little like bumpy texture things. Sick. Invest. Or they're like $4. Get. Battery life, 1 day. But $3, $4, whatever, fuck it. Get one. Insane. Goes around, dick and balls while you're fucking. Unreal. The 3 types of vibrators that I would recommend if you're someone either that like doesn't have one and wants one, or has never even thought about getting one, or is like you're just using the whole like finger fuck method on yourself or a pillow or the shower head, grow up, invest. Okay. Number 1 is the womanizer. Number 2 is the rabbit. And 3 is any kind of suction, which I guess is kind of like the womanizer, but depending on where you feel like more stimulation, whether it's like inside or outside, we'll use those 2 terminologies. Rabbit is inside and outside. Womanizer is outside. And something like the magic wand, which you've seen looks like a karaoke microphone, it's not. That's that massive motherfucker is outside only, which is honestly really shocking to me. Do you know what I'm talking about? Why is it so big? Like, does it have a lot of horsepower? I've also seen that they have cords on them. It's just for your clit. Like, that's it. It literally looks like a microphone, like we're Hannah Montana. Like, I'm 6 years old and like it's the magic wand. There's multiple other vibrators, but like those are my top 3. There's obviously like, if you are a couple, there's like couple vibrators. There's one that like are built into like underwear, remote controls, blah, blah, blah. Go to a sex store, carve out 6 hours of your day and have a fucking ball. Just purchase a lot of things, try a lot of things. What do you have to lose? You know, you don't just need one, you need multiple. Like, also there's the little bullet vibrators, like those are good on the go. I think I have an episode where my slut affirmation is that you must have a bullet vibrator with you at all times and lube. So like, also get one of those. Number 2 in the toy department is something that I feel like is underused and needs to be more used, because my God, they are like Santa's helper. Okay. Stimulation oils and gels. Okay. Very interesting. There's this brand, not sponsored, wish it was, ON. They have like this arousal oil. It's very tiny. I'm going to put you all on this. It's insane. It's this tiny little bottle. It's like $30. You use 1 drop. It's the craziest feeling in the entire world. It's kind of like icy hot, like on your clit. Crazy. Okay. Lasts like 45 minutes, hour, and then whatever. It's not like bad for inside. If it gets in there, it's fine, whatever. That, love. Arousal oil, any other brand, great. Icy hot drops. Like, there's some that are like warm, there's some that are cold, there's some that are like tingly or do both. Love them. Cannot rave about them enough. You need. Use. The other thing is something that I've discovered recently that I am like obsessed with, and it's there's like massage oil candles. So if you, I don't know what the brands are that have them, but like you can find them at any sex stores. You just light it, scoop up some wax, lay it on, or pour. You get the whole like burning sensation. Love those too. You can also use them to massage. They feel amazing. They smell good. You can't go wrong. Arousal oils, massage candles. That's number 2. Stimulating oils. The third thing is kind of a little bit more of like a you hate it or you love it category. And if you hate it, you feel like you haven't tried it in like the correct way, or you're just not into it, and that's totally fine. But the category is bondage. Okay. It's handcuffs, of course. Duh. Like, starter. Blindfold, feather, flogger, like the little thing that has the flat back. I can't remember what it's called. Spanker. A riding crop. The thing that, like, you know what I'm talking about. 50 Shades of Grey, he uses all of them. Something that I feel is underused, and this is like a specific maybe like kink or turn on, is a ball gag. It's basically like this thing that has mine is like a wiffle ball, so it's a little painful, but it's like either like a rubber ball, something that's a little squishier that you like put in your mouth, put around your head, like, you know, stops you from making noise. It's like a muzzle for a dog, kind of. Good one. Honestly, like, again, go to a sex store, explore all these things. They can look kind of like scary and like, holy fuck, what the hell? Like, not using that, not into it. Try it. Feather is my favorite. The feather is like, you can use it in combination with the blindfold. the handcuffs, the ball gag, all three plus the feather is like that like sensation of like being tickled almost, but not in a way that's like I'm gonna literally kick the shit out of your dick. Like getting tickled, it's like a light sensation, and you kind of, the blindfold helps you be like, I don't know where it's coming. You get what I'm saying. Love. There's different types of bondage. There's different levels. There's like the sex swing. There's like the thing that you like, that's the medieval torture device where you're like being like strapped down to the bed by your like wrists and ankles. Like that's crazy, but like love that for you if you do that. You just need to get elevated basically, whether it's like you're on your stomach or on your back. It like helps with the tilt of your pelvic bone, if that makes sense. I found out that everyone, and like shout out to my roommate, but she has vulvodynia, which is like this terrible like chronic pain that you can have during sex, and she told me that there's different ways that your like pelvic bone can tilt, whether it's like forward or back, so different positions are like more painful than others. Very interesting. If you feel like that might be you, like do some more research. It's actually pretty common. But all of that to say, pillows elevation like can help get that angle proper so that you can actually like hit your fucking like G-spot in a correct 90-degree or like straight on positioning, I guess. That's bondage. 4 is something that we talked about recently. Plugs. Butt plugs, that is. Duh, of course. Totally. Okay. Butt plugs, again, scary. We talked about them. Use them, try them. If you hate them, whatever, throw them away. Like, don't use them ever again. Sell them on Facebook Marketplace. There's totally a market for like used butt plugs, like used underwear. There's some men that'll pay a lot of money for that. So 5 and 6 are very common. Ice. If you've never tried ice on your vajayjay from a man's mouth or like just rubbing it on there, crazy. Use that. And the last one is just pillows, which we just talked about. Having pillows underneath you, whether it's under your stomach, whether it's under your back. Okay. Those are the toys. Those are things that you should absolutely try if you haven't, or you have and you haven't used them correctly. Give them another try. Use the 6-step method from the Slutty Summer and with your list. Going off of the toys is now like, let's apply them. Positions. I am an explorative gal. There's like several positions that like I definitely haven't tried. I am certainly interested in like purchasing the like Kama Sutra or whatever and like trying all of the different things. But, and you know, that's where you can use your roster and experiment. You never know. There's 6 positions, much like there are 6 sex toys and 6 steps in our plan. I did not plan that. 666. Okay. Angel numbers. Positions. 6 of them. Number 1. Obviously, we've all done missionary regular. Okay. Duh. There's something that we love missionary. It's great. There's something called modified missionary, which is basically where this helps if there's like a height difference of any kind, where your ass is to like the edge of the bed and he's like standing next to you. Like we've all, I feel like, tried this, but this is called modified missionary, and it hits that like angle I was talking about, especially if you have like a pillow underneath. This is like a 10 out of 10, 100% satisfaction guaranteed position. Helps if they're tall. It's fine if they're short. It like the pillows help get you higher if they need to be lower. Like there's ways to make it work. And once you find the sweet spot, it's like, fuck yes. The second one is kind of hard to explain in words. Like I feel like you just need kind of like look it up for a visual, but it's called the seated scissor. It's kind of like a reverse cowgirl of some kind, but like your leg is over one of his legs. So there's like a little bit of an angle. A little bit of an angle happening where there's like a different point of entry that's like being, it's like, you just look it up for a visual, but seated scissor, crazy. Now all of them are where you're faced away from him. Some girls are like, I hate when guys like freak out and dog you or like reverse cowgirl things where they can't see my face because it's like they just think I'm ugly. That's not true. It's just like it's a different angle. It's a different view. And obviously XYZ, go from there. But these are all like things where you're facing away. But 100% so insane. Lay flat on the bed. Don't dead fish. Just like laying flat, like belly down. If we're doing like belly down core, like Superman's, okay? Like you're laying down. Legs are straight together. No thigh gap vibes. Creates like a more of like a tightness while they're like on top, okay? That's a good one. Number 4, reverse cowgirl. People hate reverse cowgirl. I feel like there's such a 50-50 like hate it or love it. Totally fine. I personally like love because being on top is, and we discussed this in the past, but being on top is like not always super fun. And like, let's be honest, like you don't look 100% sexy as fuck when you're on top. So it's kind of like if you were turned around and you've got the ass and you got the anyone looks good from like when they're turned around at that angle because ass is fat, waist is skinny. Like it's like beautiful, 10 out of 10. The step up from that is like getting up on your feet and basically like, what's that song? It's like maybe Tyga, like bouncing on my dick. Like that's like what you're gonna do. Just try it. It's a workout for your hamstrings and your quads for sure, but try it for 1 minute and then get down and be normal. Number 5. This one is like kind of an up from lay flat, but don't dead fish. And it's like your leg is bent up, like if you're sleeping. Like if you normally sleep on your side and then you bring your leg on top, like you're doing like I teach yoga, so like supine twist. Like if you're like on the ground, like stretching your right leg across your left, like you're getting that good like stretch in your back. It's kind of like that. Angle is good from there too. The other way to do this is like if you sleep on your stomach, having your leg up, like your knee is kind of towards your face, getting that extra. It's all angles. There's ways to like jazz things up, making them more fun. If you show the guy that you kind of like know what to do, it's a little bit more like, okay, experience. If they show you what to do, okay, experience. Nothing bad about that whatsoever. And then the final is underrated in my opinion, and it's the big spoon, little spoon fuck. It's usually like a good morning fuck where it's like we're snuggling, now we're having sex. You could be little spoon, they could be big spoon, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Actually, totally does. unless you're literally pegging them. He has to be big spoon. Although if you're into that, like you could totally be big spoon. Those are the positions. Those are the toys. So we covered the type shift, which is crazy. Still processing. We'll be back to reiterate if that's still happening or if we've added a new one in the mix kind of here and there. There are a couple added to Les Rust for going into the summer, but keep going on Hinge, keep going on fucking Raya, Bumble, Tinder, whatever the fuck dating apps you use. If you hate them, delete them, go in public, go to a bar by yourself. Our goal for the summer is to be bold, slutty, sexy, cool, and fun, and just have no fear. Be crazy, get nasty, no one gives a fuck. Let's take our last drinks of the night. Put your lipstick on, get your setting spray, put it on, whatever. Listen to the last song, take a shot, go out. If you're not listening to this while you're getting ready, start getting ready. This is your sign to go out with your friends and shake some ass and suck a little dick if you're nasty. Thanks. Let's see you next week for Camp Part 2. Okay, bye. Anyways.